Most seniors think a cruise is a calm, all-included vacation, but December 2025 is different. There are new costs hiding everywhere, and most travelers over 60 won't spot them until it's too late. Some of these charges start the moment you step on the ship, even if you never asked for anything. Others look small at first, but they stack up day after day until the bill blindsides you. And the worst ones, they're placed in the parts of the cruise seniors use the most, the places you trust. If you're on a fixed income, living on savings or Social Security, these surprise bills can break the budget you carefully planned. Because one hidden charge, one almost nobody talks about, can quietly reach $2,400 by the end of your cruise. The Wi-Fi trap. So what's one of the most shocking fees that hits seniors hard? Internet access. You're on a ship, you want to check in with your grandkids, maybe send a photo or check your bank account. So you open your phone and nothing works. Cell service disappears a few miles offshore. Your only option? Pay for the ship's Wi-Fi. And it's expensive. On Carnival, a basic social media plan costs around $20 per day in 2025. Want faster speeds? Premium packages run $24 to $28 per day. For a 7-day cruise, that's $140 to $196 per person. For a couple, you're looking at $280 to $392. And here's the kicker, the internet is slow. Takes 30 seconds to load a photo, slow. You're paying $20 a day for Wi-Fi that's worse than the free connection at McDonald's. But cruise lines have you trapped. Satellite internet is expensive to operate, and they pass that cost directly to you at a massive markup. Seniors especially get hit hard here because staying connected with family feels non-negotiable. The cruise line knows that, and they charge accordingly. Here's the solution. Before you cruise, download everything you need offline. Movies, books, maps, photos to show family. Use the ship's free navigator app or text through WhatsApp when you're in port with free Wi-Fi. If you must buy internet, purchase it before boarding. You can save 15% to 25% compared to onboard prices. And here's a secret, share one internet package with your travel partner. Most cruise lines let you log out on one device and log in on another. You just can't use both at the same time. Now let me show you the second most shocking fee, and this one happens every single day. The daily drink fee that multiplies while you sleep. On a cruise in 2025, almost nothing you drink is free anymore. Want a soda? $3 to $3.50. A glass of wine? $9 to $14. A fancy cocktail by the pool? $11 to $16. Even bottled water costs $3 to $5. The only free drinks are tap water, basic coffee, and tea. Everything else, you're paying. Now let's do the math. Say you have 2 alcoholic drinks per day. That's $22 to $28. Add a soda at lunch and a specialty coffee in the morning, another $6 to $8 per person, per day. Over 7 days, one person racks up $196 to $252 just on drinks. For a couple, that's $392 to $504. And here's the sneaky part. The cruise line offers beverage packages that sound like a deal, $70 to $90 per person per day. But if you don't drink 6 to 8 drinks daily, you've just overpaid for convenience. Here's the solution. Bring your own wine or champagne. Most cruise lines allow 1 or 2 bottles per cabin for free. Stick to free drinks like tap water, bring a refillable bottle, regular coffee, and tea. If you're a light drinker, don't buy the beverage package, you won't break even. But if you drink 6+ alcoholic beverages per day, buy the package before you sail, it's cheaper online. And here's a trick. Order 2 drinks at once. Most packages allow this every 10-15 minutes, so you can stockpile drinks for later. But wait, there's a place on the ship where seniors unknowingly spend hundreds without realizing it. The spa trap. The spa, it looks peaceful. The staff is friendly, there's soft music, ocean views, and the promise of relaxation. But the moment you book a massage, you've just added $120 to $200 to your bill. Spa services on cruises cost the same or more than they do on land. A 50-minute massage? $120 to $180. A facial? $100 to $150. A manicure? $50 to $70. Plus, they automatically add an 18% to 20% gratuity on top. And here's the trap. They offer you a tour of the spa on day 1. You walk through, they offer you cucumber water, and suddenly you're signing up for a hot stone massage you didn't plan on. Seniors, especially, fall for this because the spa feels like a safe, trusted space. It's quiet, it's away from the crowds, but the cruise line knows you'll pay for peace, and they charge accordingly. One woman I know spent $400 at the spa in a single week and didn't realize it until she saw her final bill. She thought it was part of the experience. Here's the solution: skip the spa tour on embarkation day. It's a sales pitch. If you want a massage, book it on a port day, not a sea day. Prices drop 15% to 30% when the ship is in port because fewer people are on board. Better yet, get spa services at the port. They're often half the price. And use the free fitness center, sauna, and steam rooms instead of paying for yoga or spin classes. If you have a cruise booked, check if your credit card offers spa credits. Some travel cards provide $50 to $100 in onboard credits you can use. And speaking of surprises, there's a fee that appears before you even unpack your suitcase: gratuities. The moment you board, the cruise line adds a charge to your account. You didn't order anything, you didn't ask for it, but it's already there. They call them gratuities or service charges, and they run $16 to $21 per person per day in 2025. For a 7-day cruise, that's $112 to $147 per person. Automatically billed. If you're traveling as a couple, double it. That's $220 to $294. Now, here's where seniors get caught. These charges are often buried in the fine print when you book. The cruise line adds them to your onboard account on day one, and by the time you notice, you're already halfway through the trip. It's like ordering a meal and finding out the restaurant already added a 20% tip without telling you. Some people say, "But I want a tip." Sure, but wouldn't you rather control when and how much? Here's the solution. You can remove automatic gratuities, but you must go to guest services, the front desk, to adjust or remove them. If you prepaid gratuities at booking, you may not be able to remove them or get a refund. But if they're being added daily to your onboard account, you can ask for them to be removed or reduced while on the ship. Then tip in cash directly to your cabin steward, waiters, and bartenders. This way, you control the amount and the crew actually gets 100% of your tip, not the split the cruise line decides. Bring small bills, $5, $10, $20, and tip at the end of the cruise or throughout the week. And that's just the beginning, because there's another charge that hits you before you even leave the dock. The hidden port fees, they're not part of your ticket. When you book a cruise, you see a price, let's say $800 per person. Sounds reasonable, but then you get to checkout, and suddenly it's $960. What happened? Port fees and taxes. These are mandatory charges that vary by destination and ship size, and they can add 10% to 20% to your base fare. The cruise line doesn't include them in the advertised price because they don't have to. It's legal. But it's also misleading. Imagine buying a TV for $500, and at the register they say, "Oh, and there's a $100 display fee we didn't mention." You'd be furious. But with cruises, this is standard practice. For a couple on a 7-day cruise, port fees can easily add $300 to $500 to the total cost. And here's the worst part: you can't avoid them. You're paying no matter what. The cruise line just waits until you're emotionally invested in the trip before revealing the real price. Here's the solution. There's no way to avoid port fees. They're mandatory government charges, but you can minimize surprises by always looking at the total price, not the advertised fare. When comparing cruises, use the final total due at booking number, not the per-person base fare. Also, shorter cruises to fewer ports equals to lower port fees. 3-day cruise to the Bahamas will have lower port fees than a 7-day cruise hitting 5 different ports. Now let me show you the restaurants that aren't actually included, the specialty restaurants that aren't actually included. You'd think all the food on a cruise is included, right? Wrong. While the main dining room is free, there are specialty restaurants all over the ship, and they charge $45 to $65 per person just to get in. Some even go over $100 to $200 for chef's table experiences or premium steakhouses. These restaurants look fancy. They have celebrity chef names on the door, and they're placed right where you walk by every day, tempting you. Here's why seniors fall for it. You're on vacation. You want to treat yourself. The cruise line knows this. They make the main dining room feel basic, and the specialty restaurants feel special. It's like going to a hotel with a free breakfast buffet, but the hotel keeps advertising the $40 omelet station. You feel guilty eating the free stuff. One couple I know spent $300 on specialty dining in a single week, and they didn't even realize it wasn't included until they checked their bill on the last day. Here's the solution. Eat in the main dining room. The food is just as good, often from the same kitchen. If you want variety, try different dishes each night or request special preparations. But if you must try a specialty restaurant, do it only once as a special treat. Or buy a specialty dining package before the cruise. They're 20% to 40% cheaper when pre-purchased. And here's a secret. Some specialty restaurants offer lunch at half the price of dinner, same menu, same food, lower cost. And then there's one comfort most seniors love, and the cruise line just started charging for it. Room service isn't free anymore. Remember when room service was complimentary? Those days are over. Now most cruise lines charge a delivery fee, $7.95 on Royal Caribbean, $5 to $10 on other lines. It doesn't sound like much, but here's how it adds up. You're tired after a long day exploring a port. You don't want to get dressed for dinner, so you order a sandwich to your cabin. Boom, $7.95 added to your bill, plus an automatic 18% gratuity on top of that. Do that 3 times during the week? That's $24. For a couple ordering breakfast in bed twice and a late night snack once, you're looking at $50 to $100 in delivery fees alone. The food itself might be included, but accessing it in your room now costs extra. It's like a hotel charging you $10 every time the front desk hands you your own mail. Technically, it's a service, but it feels like a shakedown. And seniors who might have mobility issues or just want a quiet meal get hit the hardest. Here's the solution. Order continental breakfast only. It's free on most cruise lines from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. or 11 a.m. with no delivery charge, includes coffee, juice, pastries, fruit. Outside those hours, go to the buffet or main dining room instead of ordering room service. If you have mobility issues, ask guest services about accommodations. They may waive delivery fees, or order through the ship's app if available, like Princess's Ocean Now. Sometimes the delivery fee is lower than phone orders. And here's where the cruise line gets really sneaky, charging you for something that used to be part of the experience. Shore excursions, the $500 to $800 trap at every port. You've dreamed about seeing the Caribbean, Alaska, or the Mediterranean. But when the ship docks, you realize something. Getting off the ship and actually doing something costs extra, a lot extra. Ship-sponsored shore excursions range from $50 for a basic bus tour to $200 to $400 for snorkeling, zip-lining, or cultural experiences. Over a 7-day cruise with 4 ports, a couple can easily spend $500 to $1,000 on excursions. Now here's the trick. The cruise line makes you feel like their excursions are the only safe option. They say, if you book with us, the ship won't leave without you. That's true, but it's also true that you can explore independently, hire local guides for half the price, or just walk around the port town for free. The cruise line doesn't advertise that because they make massive commissions, sometimes 30% to 50% on every tour they sell. Seniors often feel pressured to book the official excursion for peace of mind, and the cruise line profits from that fear. Here's the solution. In the Caribbean, skip ship excursions and take a taxi to a public beach. It costs $10 to $20 per person instead of $80 to $100. In Alaska and Europe, you can explore on your own. Many ships dock close to town centers. Just keep track of the time and be back 30 minutes before all aboard. Or use third-party excursion companies like Shore Excursions Group or Viator. They offer the same tours for 30% to 50% less than cruise lines. Just make sure they have a ship weight guarantee. And if you book with the cruise line, do it the day you board. Leftover excursions often go on sale at 20% to 30% off. But there's one hidden fee that's even more insulting, and it's in a place you go to relax. Adults-only premium areas. Pay extra to escape the crowds. Cruises are crowded, there are kids running around, pool chairs are taken by 7 a.m., and sometimes you just want a quiet spot to read a book. So the cruise line offers a solution. Adults-only premium areas, exclusive sun decks, private lounges, peaceful retreats. There's just one catch, they cost extra. On Princess, it's $20 to $40 per person for a half or full day pass. On Norwegian, it's up to $99 per day. Let's say you want access 3 times during the week. That's $120 to $300 per person. For a couple, you could easily spend $400 to $600 just for the privilege of sitting somewhere quiet. It's like paying extra for legroom on a plane, except you already paid for the cruise. The cruise line creates the crowded environment, then charges you to escape it. It's brilliant marketing, and seniors who value peace and quiet pay the price. Here's the solution: don't pay for premium areas. Instead, find the quiet spots naturally. The adult pool on sea days, deck chairs on higher decks, or the library. Or wake up early, 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. The pool deck is empty and peaceful. If you have a balcony cabin, you already have a private retreat. And if you must have a quiet space, book a cruise with fewer kids. Choose sailings during school months, September, October, January through March, when families don't travel. But here's the charge that nobody talks about, and it's costing you more than you think. Shopping, the $300 you didn't plan to spend. Every cruise ship has shops, jewelry stores, duty-free liquor, souvenir stands, and they're designed to make you spend. The lighting is perfect, the displays are tempting, and the sales staff is trained to close deals. Here's what happens. You're walking back to your cabin and you pass a display of watches. A salesperson offers you a cruise-exclusive discount. Before you know it, you're buying a $200 watch you didn't need. Or you're in port and you see a local artisan selling handmade goods. You buy gifts for the grandkids, friends, and neighbors. $50 here, $100 there. By the end of the cruise, you've spent $300 to $400 on shopping, and none of it was in your budget. Seniors are especially vulnerable because gift giving feels important. You want to bring something back for the people you love. The cruise line and port vendors know this, and they've designed the entire experience to encourage impulse buying. Here's the solution. Set a shopping budget before you board. $100 total, for example, and stick to it. Wait until the last day of the cruise for onboard sales. Prices drop 30% to 50% on jewelry, watches, and clothing. Take photos instead of buying trinkets. They're free souvenirs. And if you must buy gifts, buy at local markets in port, not ship-organized shopping stops. Prices are 50% to 70% lower. Or better yet, buy gifts before you leave home and wrap them on the ship. You'll save hundreds. Now let me show you how all of these fees combine into the $2,400 nightmare. The $2,400 breakdown, how it all adds up. Let's add it all up for a senior couple on a 7-day December cruise. Wi-Fi, $280 to $392 drinks. No package, $392 to $504. Spa treatments, $300 to $400. Gratuities, $224 to $294. Port fees, $300 to $500. Specialty dining, 2 times, $180 to $260. Room service, $50 to $100. Shore excursions, $500 to $1,000. Adults only passes, $400 to $600. Shopping and souvenirs, $300 to $600. Total, $2,926 to $4,650. Even if you skip some of these, you're still looking at $2,000 to $2,800 in hidden costs beyond your cruise fare. That's more than most seniors budget for the entire trip. And remember, your cruise ticket only covered transportation and basic meals. Everything else? You paid extra. The cruise line advertised a $1,600 cruise for 2, but the real cost was $3,600 to $6,250. That's a 125% to 290% markup hidden in fine print, opt-in charges, and strategic design. For someone on Social Security or a fixed retirement income, this isn't just frustrating, it's financially dangerous. But don't panic, because I'm about to show you exactly how to fight back. Before I show you how to save over $1,500 on your next cruise, do me a quick favor. Hit that like button right now if this information is helping you. It tells YouTube to show this video to more seniors who need to see it. And subscribe to this channel because I'm exposing more travel industry secrets every single week. The stuff they don't want you to know. All right, let's get you that money back. How to cut $1,500 to $2,000 off your cruise bill. Money-saving strategies. Here's the good news. You can avoid most of these fees if you know what to look for. First, buy beverage packages before you board. They're 10% to 20% cheaper online, but only if you'll drink 6 or more drinks per day. Second, skip ship excursions and explore ports independently or hire local guides. They're half the price. Third, use the free fitness center instead of paying for yoga classes. Fourth, bring a refillable water bottle. Tap water is free. Fifth, wait for end of cruise sales if you want souvenirs. Prices drop 30% to 50% on the last day. Sixth, remove automatic gratuities at guest. Services and tip in cash. You control the amount. Seventh, download movies and books before the cruise so you don't need Wi-Fi. Eighth, eat in the main dining room and skip specialty restaurants. The food is just as good. Ninth, avoid the spa on sea days when prices are highest. Book on port days when they offer 15% to 30% discounts. 10th, bring your own wine. Most lines allow 1 or 2 bottles per cabin for free. These strategies can save you $1,200 to $2,000 per cruise. But there's one strategy that trumps all of these, and the cruise line doesn't want you to know it. The one thing cruise lines don't want you to do: get everything in writing. Here it is. Ask questions before you book and get everything in writing. Call the cruise line directly. Ask what's included and what's not. Request a breakdown of all mandatory fees. Ask about automatic charges and how to remove them. Get the sales rep's name and email everything to yourself. Why does this work? Why does this work? Because once it's documented, the cruise line can't surprise you later. They rely on confusion, fine print, and assumptions. When you force clarity up front, you take away their leverage. Most seniors don't do this because it feels confrontational or time-consuming. But spending 30 minutes on the phone can save you $2,000. That's $4,000 per hour, better than any investment you'll ever make. And here's the secret: cruise lines have flexibility. If you push back on fees, ask for package deals, or threaten to book elsewhere, they'll often waive charges or offer discounts. They want your business. Use that. So here's what you need to do right now, before you book your next cruise. Consider all-inclusive cruise lines, the smart alternative. If you're tired of nickel and dime fees, there's a better option: all-inclusive cruise lines. Lines like Virgin Voyages, Viking Ocean, Oceania, Regent Seven Seas, and Silver Sea include gratuities, Wi-Fi, and drinks in the upfront price. Yes, they cost more initially, $200 to $500 per person per day instead of $100 to $150. But here's the truth: when you add up all the hidden fees on budget cruise lines, the final bill is often higher than all-inclusive cruises. Let's do the math. Budget cruise, $800 base fare, plus $2,400 in fees, $3,200 total. All-inclusive cruise, $2,800 up front, $2,800 total. You save $400 and you have peace of mind knowing there are no surprises. All-inclusive cruises also attract fewer families. They're adult-focused, quieter, and have smaller ships with better service. For seniors who value peace, transparency, and quality, this is the smarter choice. Research these lines: Viking Ocean Cruises, best for rivers and ocean; Oceania Cruises, includes gratuities starting 2025; Virgin Voyages, adults only, modern; Regent Seven Seas, ultra-luxury, everything included; and Silver Sea, luxury, includes excursions. And if you prefer mainstream lines, look for premium packages like Princess Premier or NCL's Free at Sea. They bundle gratuities, drinks, and Wi-Fi at a discount. So here's what you need to do right now. Your action plan: what to do next before you book. If you're planning a cruise in December 2025 or anytime soon, here's your action plan. First, read every word of the booking agreement. Look for phrases like additional charges, port fees, and automatic gratuities. Second, budget an extra $1,500 to $2,500 beyond your cruise fare for hidden costs, or use the strategies I just shared to cut that in half. Third, book directly with the cruise line, not third-party sites, so you can negotiate and ask questions. Fourth, join cruise forums and Facebook groups for seniors. Real travelers share honest advice about which lines nickel and dime the most. Fifth, consider all-inclusive cruise lines like Virgin Voyages or luxury lines where gratuities, Wi-Fi, and drinks are included up front. Yes, they cost more initially, but the final bill is often lower than budget cruises with hidden fees. Sixth, if booking a mainstream cruise, pre-purchase packages at a discount, drinks, Wi-Fi, dining, and excursions are all cheaper before you sail. Seventh, travel during off-peak months. September, October, January through March, when prices are lowest and ships are less crowded. And finally, don't let the cruise industry take advantage of you. You worked hard for your retirement. You deserve a vacation that's relaxing, transparent, and fair. Now you know the truth. Use it. Bon voyage and keep your wallet close.